So here's something that's going to sound a little uncomfortable at first, but stick with me. A huge chunk of Gen Z trusts a recommendation algorithm more than they trust an actual human being standing in front of them telling them how to live. And I don't mean that as a joke or an exaggeration, I mean it in the most literal sense. If a playlist app tells them what song fits their mood, they trust it. If a religious leader tells them what choice fits their life, a lot of them hesitate, question it, or just quietly walk away. And once you notice that pattern, you can't really unsee it. I remember scrolling through comments on a video a while back, some random video about faith and doubt, and one comment just stuck with me. Someone wrote something like, "I trust my For You page more than my pastor," and it had thousands of likes. Not because people thought it was edgy, because a lot of people actually felt that way and just never said it out loud until they saw someone else say it first. The real question. So the obvious question is why? And the easy answer everyone gives is, Gen Z just isn't religious anymore, which sure, that's true on the surface, but it doesn't actually explain anything. It's like saying water is wet. It describes the thing without telling you why the thing is happening. Here's what I think is actually going on, and it's less about faith and more about how trust gets built in the first place. How algorithms earn trust. Think about how an algorithm earns your trust. It doesn't ask you to believe in it first and prove yourself later. It just gives you something, you react to it, and it adjusts. You skip a song, it learns. You watch a video twice, it learns. There's no waiting period, no test of loyalty, no need to have faith before you get results. The trust is built backwards from constant, immediate feedback. You don't believe in the algorithm. You just notice it keeps being right over and over in small ways, and that adds up. How religious trust was built now, compare that to how trust in a religious leader or institution traditionally gets built. It's the opposite structure. You're often asked to believe first, follow the guidance, and the payoff, if there even is one you can point to, shows up way later, sometimes not in this life at all, depending on what you're taught. And for older generations, that structure worked fine, because the entire culture around them reinforced patience and long timelines. But Gen Z didn't grow up in that kind of environment. They grew up getting an answer in half a second every single time they opened their phone. So when someone asks them to sit with uncertainty for years and just trust that it'll make sense eventually, it doesn't feel wrong to them exactly, it just feels foreign, like a system running on rules that don't match the rest of their life. The institutional trust collapse. And I think there's something else going on too, something people don't talk about enough. Gen Z grew up watching a lot of institutions mess up in really public, undeniable ways. Financial systems collapsing, high-profile scandals inside religious institutions, schools and universities not delivering what they promised, governments handling major crises badly right in front of everyone's eyes on social media instead of behind closed doors. None of that is really about religion specifically, it's bigger than that. It's just that religious leadership got caught in the same wave of institutional trust falling apart everywhere at once. When almost everything with authority behind it let people down at some point growing up, it makes sense that people started looking for trust somewhere that doesn't come with a title or a position of power attached to it. An algorithm doesn't have a position of power in the traditional sense. It doesn't ask for your loyalty. It doesn't claim moral authority over your choices. It just responds to what you do. And there's something oddly comforting about that to a generation that's seen a lot of people in positions of authority let them down or turn out to be hiding something. Meaning, didn't disappear, it moved. Now here's where it gets interesting because I don't think this means Gen Z stopped looking for meaning. If anything, I think they're looking for it just as much as anyone else ever has. They just moved the search somewhere else. You see it in how people talk about their personality types, their attachment styles, their astrology signs even, half jokingly, half seriously. You see it in how therapy language became this shared vocabulary for basically everything. Boundaries, healing, triggers, growth. That's not a coincidence. That's the same need for structure and meaning that religion used to fill, just wearing different C. A personal moment. I noticed this in my own life, actually. I went through a period where I wasn't going to any kind of service or group like that, but I was still deep into checking in on myself constantly, tracking my mood, my habits, using apps that told me patterns about my own behavior I hadn't noticed myself. And at some point I realized this is basically the same function. I'm just getting my sense of self and direction from data about myself instead of from a sermon about how to live. Same need, different source. Why
Personalization wins.
And honestly, the data-based version has one advantage that's hard to argue with. It's personalized to you specifically. It's not a message written for millions of people that you're supposed to somehow make fit your exact situation. It's built from your actual behavior, your actual patterns, adjusted constantly. For a generation raised on personalization in literally everything else, from ads to playlists to what shows up on their feed, getting a one-size-fits-all answer about how to live your whole life understandably feels a little outdated. The catch. I want to be careful here, though, because I'm not saying algorithms are better than actual
Algorithms
wisdom,
are not
or that
better
data
than
can
wisdom.
replace meaning, because honestly, I don't think it can. Not fully. An algorithm doesn't actually care about you. It optimizes for keeping your attention, which is a completely different goal than helping you grow as a person. That's actually the part that worries me a little, if I'm honest. Trusting something because it's accurate about your patterns is not the same as trusting something because it has your actual well-being in mind. Those can look identical from the outside for a while and then quietly turn out to be very different things. The bigger shift. But I do think the shift itself makes complete sense once you see it this way. It's not that Gen Z suddenly became more logical or more scientific overnight, and it's not that religious leaders suddenly became untrustworthy as people. It's that trust for this entire generation got rebuilt around instant feedback, personalization, and lived proof instead of authority and patience. And once trust works that way for literally everything else in someone's life, it makes sense they'd expect the same thing from anyone claiming to have answers about how to live, whether that's a religious leader, a life coach, or honestly, anyone at all making big claims with nothing to immediately back it up. The real takeaway.
I think the essential lesson is resilience. Believing in something bigger really grounds you.
Absolutely.
For me, it's about the community faith builds.
Yeah, that sense of belonging is everything.
So when you hear that Gen Z isn't religious, I don't think that's really the full story. I think what's actually happening is a generation quietly redefining what it even means to trust something in the first place, and everyone else is just catching up to that shift a little late.